The 681st edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code MMA SGPN to get a 50% deposit bonus of up to $1,000. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Start crushing the college football and NFL seasons with Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMN.
Howdy ho, DeGenerinos. Welcome to episode 681 of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to the lovely and talented Mrs. V, who is celebrating your birthday today, I've heard. So this goes out to you, and all you other people can watch and listen as well. I am one of your hosts, Taco, the hilarious Taco Fox. We're covering LFA today. No surprise there. We always cover LFA, and you people love it. LFA 195 is going down this coming weekend, and we've got you covered. We've got Tuesday action. We already got you covered on that 2 episodes ago. Yesterday was Thursday action. Now we got some Friday action. So you have a busy week. You MMA degens out there. So as I said, LFA 195 is what today is all about. I'm not breaking it down alone. I'm bringing in Mr. V, Daniel Gubby Reland, to tell us about this here fight card. Hello.
And it's a fun one. You got a UFC veteran. You got a Contender Series veteran, and you got some other recognizable names. And more importantly than all of that, we're going to be breaking down 2 flyweight fights that should be absolute fireworks. They are so damn exciting. It is going to be a really fun card to watch, I think.
Fantastic. And of course, he has us skipping a fight with a Canadian in it, as per usual.
So that fight was listed lower. Also, I interviewed her this week, so I'm not even hating on Melissa Croden. She's a lot of fun. But when they had the lineup listed before, there were some fighters that are now listed further down, and I don't know what the actual order is. LFA is always slow to update their tapology, but I do want to say that that's not a hate on Melissa Croden. I might talk about her at the end of the episode anyway.
All right, whatever. It's a hate on me. So yeah, fun event. A lot of names I shouldn't have trouble saying. Maybe a few. So if you're looking for that, then go to yesterday's and the day before, because they were the fun pronunciation. Yeah. Today is not a special day, not just because we're covering LFA and because it's someone's birthday. It's because the NBA season also tips off today, October the 22nd, and the NBA Gambling Podcast is hosting a wins total contest. Winner gets a $250 250 SGPN gift card. Head to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NBA contest to enter today before the season starts. So TikTok. Hopefully you're listening to this before tip off tonight. So once again, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NBA contest. And while you're off doing things on the wide world web, that's World Wide Web. That sounds a lot better than the Wide World Web.
That backwards.
It's almost like this is the 3rd podcast I've recorded in a row. It almost seems that way. Head over to Spotify, give us a 5-star review, pretty please, and help us prevent corporate gambling from taking over. Now on to LFA, something that I do know a little bit about. LFA 195, Wetzell versus Usmonov, Vail, Colorado. So they're up in elevation. We'll see if that comes into play with any of Gumby's handicapping here. Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern start time. UFC Fight Pass makes it easy for you to watch it. The Dobson Arena in Vail, Colorado, 15 fights. We're breaking down the top 5 or the 5 that Gumby found most interesting. And then we'll get you some bonus picks at the very end. First matchup is main card flyweights. Micah, Haas, Erik, Calvert, 3 5-minute rounds. No odds yet for this. They should be dropping probably tomorrow, usually midweek, right? Wednesdays. They're actually earlier, so I'm not sure why we don't have them yet. But Calvert's nickname inexplicably is Lyle. Gumby and I were talking about this before. We don't know why his name's Lyle, do we?
I don't. It's pretty great, though.
You should have him on your other show just for this very reason. Lyle is 4-0 with 4 submissions, and that is all I can tell you about Lyle. That's all I have for Lyle Calvert.
He's from Arkansas.
He's from Arkansas. Haas's nickname, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it or not. So you can just look it up if you want to find out what his nickname is. I don't want to insult anyone. You don't know if
crossing a line or not?
Yeah, I don't want to offend anyone or anything.
You say it when it's Paul Craig.
It's true. Oh, it's true. His nickname's the Super Jew. Okay, I didn't name him that. That's just what his nickname is. That's right. Paul Craig has a nickname.
I'm laughing at your discomfort, by the way.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. He's 5-0 with 1 knockout, regional champion, 2 inches height over Calvert. So not a huge resumes on either of these guys. Oh, have they fought in LFA before? I usually say that.
No, neither of these guys. They're both
debuting. All right, Gummy, can you find anything on these guys?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some of their fights. I went and looked because, it's interesting. You don't usually see LFA bring in, such green flyweights, only 4-0, 5-0. Those are pretty early records. They usually wait until they've got a little bit more tread on the tires here, but it's for really good reason. Both of them are wildly exciting. Micah Haas, incredible stand-up. Just like very, very dynamic on the feet. Lots of switch stances, lots of kicks. Like, he's very confident in his hands. He's really good at establishing range. Like, he just is very, very fun on the feet. Now, some of his fights I watched, just piecing up his opponents on the feet, getting out of range, making them miss a ton, and then inexplicably shoots a takedown and makes me real sad. Now, to be fair, really good wrestler. Like, his double leg is good, and maybe he was just trying to show that he has a well-rounded game, and so that somebody like LFA would give him a look. But like, his jiu-jitsu on the mat is just a little bit lacking, and that worries me because, like, I think he should just lean on his striking all the time.
Yeah,
like, his striking is exceptional, and like, in all of those fights, he was never in any danger. He could just live there and win. And I think he could do that against Calvert here too, because Calvert, his striking is, it also like has elements of being dynamic, but it's weird. He like hands way down low karate stuff sometimes, but then he's like, his back is almost to you, like he's thinking about throwing a spinning thing, but I don't even know that he is, because I haven't really seen any spinning things out of him. It's like flashy without throwing very much. It's very bizarre. But I will tell you this, Calvert's jiu-jitsu is insane. It's so good. Like, he is so good off of his back. I watched, it wasn't his last fight. It was 2 fights ago. I think he had the guy he was fighting in 7 different arm bars in 3 different triangles before one of them finally got him. But it wasn't even that he like wasn't putting him in right. The guy would defend him right, and he'd be like, okay, well, I'll just go to this submission. I'll just go to this. Yeah. And he like just rotate through him, sweep him, come out on top. His jiu-jitsu is so good. So what makes this fight so interesting for me is that if Haas decides to strike from range and doesn't shoot a dumb takedown, he is going to piece Calvert up all night. If he does shoot one of those dumb takedowns, he's going to be in danger immediately, and I don't like his chances there. So this is one of those fights where you have to ask yourself, do I trust that he's going to do the right thing as a 5-0 regional flyweight making his LFA debut? And I'm going to say he does.
Okay.
Pick Micah Haas. I think the odds will come in close on this one because it's like such a fun style matchup, like maybe -150 on Haas. If that does balloon up, I'd pump the brakes, because at the end of the day here, we don't want to have a guy who's just going to like, do the silly thing and go grapple a grappler. But as long as he chooses to strike from range, he's going to piece Calvert up. So give me Micah Haas.
All right. Micah Haas is the pick with those warnings, though. All right. We're moving up to a welterweight fight. Haris Talundžić. He's from Bosnia Herzegovina. Two events in a row. Maybe it was Sunday, but we covered a fighter from there. Ovidio, what is his name? Ovidio Bojorquez from Mexico. Did I say that anywhere close at all?
Yeah, Ovidio Bojorquez.
All right, simple as that. Talundžić, the Bosnian is the Bosnian silverback. We have covered him before. 6-2 with 3 submissions. He's been knocked out once. 5-2 in the LFA. Loss over his last 3. Got TKO'd in his last fight. That was back in October 2023. 3 inches reach over Bojorquez. 5-3 with 5 knockouts. He's been knocked out twice. 1-1 in LFA. Loss for him as well over his last 3. Regional champion, 4 years younger than Talundžić.
This is the easiest pick of the night. If Talundžić isn't -750, I'll be shocked. Like, he should be that. Maybe his will probably hit 4 digits by fight time. Like we did it last week with Josiah Harrell. I was like, oh, he'll probably be negative 750. He was negative 1,300 when it posted, and he closed at negative 2,400. Talundžić will be the same thing here. He is a guy who's kind of like stepped on a banana peel a couple of times in recent fights. And like, he's a guy who I would have pegged would have already been on Contender Series by now. And he just has walked into the wrong opponent at the wrong time, slipped up the wrong way, got caught. But he's like a really good wrestler with like standard enough striking. And Bojorquez is just like gets taken down when anybody looks at him the wrong way. So like, it feels like LFA is trying to put Talundžić back in a position where he can start to make a run up this division. And, he seems like a loyal guy to LFA. So it seems like that's what they want. And they gave him the perfect opponent to do that. So Talundžić, not really too much to say here. This is a one-sided beatdown, and the odds should reflect as such.
A one-sided beatdown, Gummy says. All right, Talundžić, and what is the range you would play him in?
It comes down to your appetite for risk. I think there's not a 0% chance because it's MMA, but like a less than 2% chance he loses this fight. So like, if you're going to talk about what the odds should reflect on that, you're probably still in value at negative 900. But if your appetite for risk and what you get for a payout is lower than that, maybe just stay away from it altogether.
There you go. Okay, before we move on, Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Pick'em has one of the biggest menus for all sports. They've got NFL, they've got college football, they've got MLB, they've got MMA, they got WNBA, they got NASCAR, they've got more. Boost Ober is upon us, which means you're getting a spooky amount of profit boost and much more. And with NBA tipping off today, every NBA Pick'em entry from October 19th through the 27th will be boosted. You can now use special boost on all flex entries. Any plays for us? Gonna be any NBA plays for us?
Well, I was just going to say, with the NBA tipping off today, it would seem wrong to not talk about the NBA. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to that Boston versus the New York Knicks game. I like Drew Holiday's higher than on his points. He's listed at only 12.5 right now. I think we saw some things towards the end of last season that showed that he could go higher than that. And out the gate, I'm going to take him.
No Porzingis, so maybe a few more shots for him too. So, all right, check that out. Sign up for the code MMA SGPN to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code MMA SGPN.
I forgot about my favorite underdog guy that I mentioned all the time last year when there was no Porzingis. I used to always say Al Horford plays.
Yes, it's true. Not up. Year older, but he's still around.
Yeah, Al Horford's still there. So maybe Al Horford too.
Yes. And no
higher than half a 3-pointer for Al Horford.
There you go. No Porzingis. He's gonna have to play more minutes than he normally would have. Yeah.
And he always weirdly shoots a couple of 3-pointers.
Yep. You can count on Mr. Horford. All right, let's move to a flyweight bout. Josiah Reyes versus Kevin Fernandez, US versus US. For this fight, I'm going to tell you about let's say about Fernandez first. Lil Dragon, LIL Dragon, 7-1, 1 knockout, 4 submissions, never been finished in a fight. He's won 4 straight fights, all via finish. He's not fought since October 2023. He's not lost since June 2022. 2-0 in pro Muay Thai. Reyes, the Silver City Strangler. Where is the Silver City, Gambi?
Feels like it's got to be in like Iowa or something, right?
Where is he from? He's fighting out in New Mexico. It doesn't say where he's from.
That doesn't sound like Iowa, so maybe
no,
I'm wrong.
The Silver City.
Yeah, it should be a mining town. I don't know why I would have guessed Iowa. Maybe I was thinking like putting the Silver. Yeah, Quad City is in Iowa. That's Davenport, right?
Yep. But this is the Silver City. There's Silver City in Australia.
Someone tell us. That's probably not it. Hit us in the comments. If you live in the Silver City, we apologize.
Yeah. All right. That's Josiah Reyes. He is 4-1, 1 knockout, 1 submission. He's been knocked out once. A lot of ones going around. 3-1 in LFA. Won his last fight. 1-1-1. August 2023 was when that fight was. So he's been on the shelf for a bit. He's not lost since September 2022. 2 inches height, 2 inches reach over the Lil Dragon.
So with the less wins and a more brutal loss on his record, I kind of expect Reyes to be a fairly large underdog here. And I'm hearing a lot of people in on Kevin Fernandez. I'm going to say like plus 225 on Josiah Reyes. And I love him in this spot if he is an underdog at all. because I'm going to pick Josiah Reyes here. I think, first of all, his loss was to Louis Garuli, who we just saw on Contender Series looking like an absolute man possessed that can't be beat. And he beat Reyes. So, like, that's Reyes' only loss. In addition to that, he just beat Jordan Buchholzer, who is a guy who I've been highly touting. Like, I think he's a really good wrestler. Scored a couple of early takedowns on Reyes. And then Reyes, first of all, his cardio held up, and he just, like, never accepted his positions. He just kept getting back up. And that makes him really exhausting for a wrestler to fight. In addition to that, he is so tall and rangy. He's like, I want to say he's 5'9" at flyweight, which is a really long flyweight. And he uses that range pretty well. Obviously, like I said, Burkholder got in on some takedowns, and that caused him some problems, but like he uses his range quite well. And for Fernandez is a kind of fighter who like very much needs the takedown and the top control. I can see him getting that early, but I don't know how long that is going to be sustainable. Like, I think he might be able to score a couple of takedowns, but it's like the takedowns he needs are like right to arm triangle. And all of his fights have, or at least in the last few years, all of his fights have ended in the first or early second round. So like, he's not a guy who's gotten dragged into late or deep waters. And Reyes is a guy who's shown that like when a wrestler can't put him away, he gains momentum as the fight goes. He picks up speed. He doesn't tire. He starts stuffing those takedowns. And then you got a guy who really wants to wrestle up against the guy who he can't get down and who's longer and rangier than him. So I like Josiah Reyes here. I'm kind of expecting him to be at least a 2-1 underdog. And I think he cruises.
This dude's interesting, Josiah Reyes. He is a jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, MMA. He's a guitar and drum instructor, and he's also a chess instructor.
How did you find out that he was a guitar instructor?
I know things, Gumby. Instagram knows things as well. I'm trying to find where he's from. All I see is Santa Fe.
I was like, yeah. Why are you digging into his Instagram? So
Santa Fe is not the Silver City, so I don't know. But I found interesting things out about him regardless. So there you go. Maybe you're gonna have to have him on your show, Gumby, and find out where the Silver City is and why he strangles people there. All right, should we move on? Probably should. Did we do underdog already? We did, so I don't have to worry about that. We will tell you about our co-main event already. Dante Schiro versus AJ Fletcher. There's a name you may know. A couple of Americans. Why does AJ Fletcher look surprised in his topology photo? Something is surprised him off to the left. He's very surprised, or something shocked him. Anyhow, we tell you about him first. He's the ghost. Maybe he saw a ghost. AJ Fletcher, the ghost. He's a ghost from the UFC now. He's 10-4, 4 knockouts, 5 submissions. He's been submitted once. This is his LFA debut. He's lost 2 straight fights and only won 1 of his last 5. He went 1-3 in the UFC, and then they made him go ghost. 1-0 on Contender Series. He's fight at lightweight. 4 years of youth on his side over Schiro. Schiro is 10-5, 4 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's been submitted once. 3-0 in LFA. 1-2 over his last 3. 2-3 over his last 5. Did win his last fight. He went 1-3 in Bellator. 0-1 in one championship, the biggest promotion in the world. Regional champ. Used to fight at middleweight. 3 inches of height and 6 inches reach over the ghost Fletcher.
So before we break this one down,
yes,
I have to let you know that the intern found out that Silver City, New Mexico is a city.
Oh, really?
So the Silver City is Silver City.
It makes sense, actually.
Yeah,
there would be silver and stuff there, right?
Yeah.
It would make sense.
I think Fletcher's going to come in here as the favorite because he has the UFC background. But I don't know how much because his record kind of is ugly looking. And he's so much smaller. So I'm going to say like -175 on Fletcher. I'm still going to take Fletcher on this one. Maybe surprisingly. I don't really like Schiro in what I've seen.
Well, take that. He doesn't like you.
I think he throws the same rear. It's not quite a teep. It's not quite a push kick. It's like I guess a front kick is the right way to call it. He throws the same front kick constantly as if it's the only strike he knows how to use. It's like somebody who's just learning how to play Tekken and just has the one thing that works.
Yeah. Maybe his button got stuck.
Yeah. Dante Schiro's, all of the other buttons have been gummed up and he can only touch that one. It's not good. And then like, it's clear he wants to like clinch and wrestle, but like he doesn't really have the takedown game, I think, to make that happen. And in addition to that, why the hell would you want to do that against AJ Fletcher, who's like he submitted Themba Gorimbo, which I think people forget. And then second of all, is like a stocky guy. Like you would want to strike with him from distance. I just don't know that kick is, I mean, I have to imagine AJ Fletcher has seen it in the film. I have to imagine AJ Fletcher is like, I know what's coming. And, you know, Fletcher didn't have a really great run in the UFC, notably, but like he does have power. He's got a little bit of wrestling. Like, I think Schiro is the right kind of opponent for him here in LFA. I think he gets back to what he does, and we see Fletcher win. And as long as that number doesn't get out of control, I could see myself getting behind like a mid to high negative 100 number.
Yeah, that's where I was headed next, of course.
Yeah.
Asking you,
I think as long as he doesn't get well into the twos, I'd consider a money line play on him there.
That's how much he doesn't like Schiro. So, all right. One thing he does like is Rhythm, of course, because they're our proud partner. SGPN's proud partner, Rhythm, is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds and get predictions for betting on money line, spreads, totals, and props. Build your own model, copy one of the top performing models from the leaderboard, or press build a model for me. And Rhythm gives you predictions for every game and player prop, and also has a myriad of stats, research, and trend analysis to give you even more betting insights. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And we're also brought to you by BetUS. Bet with the best in the business, BetUS. BetUS has been around for more than 30 years. Easily deposit using cryptocurrency and get lightning fast payouts. US players are always welcome. Sign up and deposit $100, and you have a chance to win a 1960 Ford Mustang. You can take me for drives in it. Check out all their MMA bets on there, all their MMA lines on there. And here's the important part. Use our link to sign up and get 125% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. Promo code SGPN. So they know we sent you. BetUS, America's favorite sports book. And we are to our main event already. No gold on the line, but Gumby promises it's going to be a fun fight card regardless. This is Justin Wetzell from the United States versus Bekhzod Usmonov, not from the United States. He's from Tajikistan. 3 5-minute rounds, 135. Bantamweights are usually fun. So Usmonov, Lion, Lion. He doesn't tell lies, hopefully. He's 11-4 with 4 knockouts and 1 submission. Been knocked out twice. This is his LFA debut. He's stepping right into the main event. 1-2 straight and 6 of 7. He's not fought since December 2022, though. He's not lost since February 2022. This is all official fights because he was on the Ultimate Fighter since then. He went 0-1 in the Ultimate Fighter on the past season, right?
Yeah, the most recent season. He lost to Gigamontas from Moscow.
Yes, and he made it to the UFC, so there you go. Regional champ. Used to fight at flyweight, featherweight, lightweight. 1-1 in bare knuckle FC, 0-2 in boxing, 3 years younger than Wetzell. Wetzell, 9-2, 4 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out once. 3-1 in LFA. He's won 2 straight and 8 of 9. The past 2 wins have come via finish. August 2023, he's been on the shelf since. Used to fight at featherweight and lightweight, 2 inches taller than Usmonov.
So I think Wetzell should probably be a favorite in this fight, being that he's got more recent good results. Also that he's actually a bantamweight. It's funny. Bekhzod Usmonov was in the featherweight season of the Ultimate Fighter. He's a flyweight. Like he's up a weight class for this fight. Never mind for the fight on the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
So I think Wetzell, being that he's got the high level wrestling and has been in LFA, will probably be a favorite. But Usmonov, having been on the Ultimate Fighter, granted 0-1 on the Ultimate Fighter, I think it will probably close the gap a little bit. So I think we're going to see like maybe negative 150 on Wetzell, like plus 130, plus 125 on Usmonov. And I'm going to go with Bekhzod Usmonov. I think, so first of all, I think Wetzell is going to have a hard time with the boxing of Usmonov. If you watch that fight with Usmonov and Gigamontas from Moscow, like Usmonov hit so hard for somebody who was up 2 weight classes in that fight. And for some reason, he could still find the range of Gigamontas despite being so much more, like he looked like he was 2 weight classes off in that fight. And he still found a way to close the range and broke Gigamontas' face in that fight. Like notably, Gigamontas from Moscow had to drop out of his semifinal fight because he had a facial fracture that Bekhzod Usmonov gave him. Usmonov, in my opinion, should have won the first round in that fight. We should have wound up seeing a 3rd round, but like held his own up a weight class, looks really good striking. And in addition to that, while Wetzell is a good wrestler, I really like how crafty Usmonov is in the grappling exchanges. He's one of those guys who does like that jump in back trip that some guys really like to do, where they like jump beside you and throw the leg behind and hit the trip. That's really fun. He also scrambles really well when he's on the mat. So I think like, even though that's Wetzell's clear path to victory, I think Wetzell having a tougher time finding the range, clearly being the worst striker. And I think Usmonov should just be able to counter the grappling enough that he should win a decision here. So give me Bekhzod Usmonov. I think as long as the number says plus in front of his name, I'd be interested in playing him. As you know, if he posts as a favorite, which would surprise me, I don't know necessarily how excited I'd be about it. But if it's close, maybe as it gets closer to fight time, I might convince myself.
All righty. Let's recap and we'll get you some lightning round picks. He's got Usmonov, he's got Fletcher, he's got Reyes, he's got Talundžić, he has got Haas. All right, lightning round. Zap, bang, boom. Pow, do you have any special plays or additional plays?
Yeah, I'm going to take a pair of women I really like on this undercard. I mentioned at the top of the episode, Melissa Croden. She is so dangerous with the hand. She's a big finisher. I like the way she boxes. I think she can mix it up here. She's fighting Ashley Dean. I think it's a wild mismatch. Give me Melissa Croden. And then I'm also going to take Kendra McIntyre. She's 3-1. She's a regional prospect and kind of has been circled by some people as somebody to keep an eye on. She did trip up once in there. She's fighting a 4-0 Brazilian prospect who I didn't know much about, gave a quick look to, think McIntyre can handle her. But that record might also give us a really nice number on McIntyre. So Croden, I think you're probably going to see as a decent sized favorite. McIntyre, you might see as a slight dog. And those are my two lightning round plays.
All right. If you want more plays, get in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord, or hit us up on in the comment section on YouTube. That would be MMA Gambling Podcast. Of course, Twitter works as well. SGPN MMA. Gumby runs that. He's Gumby Vreeland. I'm Jeff Fox Writer there and on Instagram. I got a Substack. You should check it out. Lots of good articles, gambling-centric type articles, and maybe more importantly, a free UFC pick'em contest I run every week, and they give away prizes. So check that out at moneymma.substack.com. Check out Gumby's Top Turtle MMA podcast and LFA-centric episode this week, which fits in well with this here episode we're talking about. So that would be Top Turtle. Of course, we are at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store to get cool gear, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. So you can help us fight corporate gambling. We'll be back tomorrow. UFC's got another pay-per-view. We're blessed with 2 pay-per-views this week. Am I going to waste my time doing the research on Whitaker versus Chimaev? We'll have to wait and see. Until then, Little Dragon, Jeff Fox says bye. Silver City Strangler, Gumby Reeland says adios.